Dodgers trade talks have continued to heat up, and a brand new report has dropped detailing one name in specific, which is statistically a perfect fit for the Los Angeles Dodgers. However, we're going to be breaking it down, going over what this means, not just via a trade, but also where this is all coming from and how this makes a little bit more sense than many people are thinking. Before we do jump into this video, however, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you one favor, and that's to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and you want to stay up to date with all of your Los Angeles Dodgers news. We have it here on the channel every single day, keeping you up to date with everything going on with this team. I want to say a quick happy holidays to all of you guys watching this video right now. Of course, the holiday season, definitely an important time, so be sure to go spend some time with your families and whatnot. But I appreciate all of you guys. Me and Jace appreciate all of you guys here on the channel. Let's jump straight into this and not waste any more time. And dropping this article right now, you see Clutch Points putting this up. The Dodgers' perfect trade for Yankees' Jazz Chisholm Jr. Now, this is a very interesting one because as we look at where we currently are right now, Jazz makes a lot of sense, and it may seem crazy to say, but he is the fit of what the Dodgers need. And going into this entire report, there is a proposed trade. We're going to jump into that, and also how a few changes could be made to make this even better for the Dodgers, especially as his fit is really the last missing piece with this Dodgers team. With what we know, they're going to be getting an outfielder. It makes a whole lot of sense. Now, going into this trade, the Dodgers receive Jazz Chisholm Jr., outfielder, second baseman, two big fits as what the Dodgers need. The Yankees receive Ha-Seong Kim, Zaire Hope, and Jackson Ferris. Now, looking at this, there's something in my mind, and I know right now this is not what the Dodgers would do, but there's something in my mind that I really like this. And I want to get your guys' opinion as well, because, let me know right now, and also at the end of the video, save the comments till then, because I want to know what you guys think after I kind of dive into some things here. Now, Jazz Chisholm Jr. for Ha-Seong Kim, that's a one-for-one replacement. Right now, when we look at the depth chart, Ha-Seong Kim is a starter, as well as Tommy Edman. They don't really have any depth at second base, and that's why that has been such a big position of conversation here throughout this season, is that do they really have anybody they can trust there for, 130 games plus, let's just say, you don't really expect anybody to play every single game, try to stay healthy, but you wish you could. They don't really have anybody right there right now that I think day in, day out would be the perfect fit. Jazz Chisholm Jr. kind of going crazy with the New York Yankees. He was very, very good. Of course, we have to think about the short porch. That is one thing which boosted his numbers significantly. But other than that, he performed well when it mattered. And, you got to give credit where credit is due. He is on the Yankees, but there's a lot of things that Jazz did right. Now, looking at that, of course, a few options. But when you're looking at the two other names, Zaire Hope and Jackson Ferris, the one that really sticks out to me, which makes me think that the Dodgers would not do this, is Jackson Ferris. And we've seen Brandon Gomes speak out about what he thinks about him, how he thinks, he's going to be an important part, and already being compared to Blake Snell. It is a tough player to give up. Zaire Hope, someone that we've seen in a lot of proposed trades like this in trade rumors. He's someone that it almost seems like the Dodgers are not necessarily willing to give up, but if it takes him to move the needle, from what reports are saying, it looks like that will be the case. And I mean, looking at Jazz, he is a player that significantly boosts, many hitting categories, I guess, for this Dodgers team on second base. He's a great fielder, can play the outfield. His base running and run line value, pretty great, underneath that category and technically well above average. He's someone that, once again, looking at the short porch, 30 home runs this year, he's a guy that has some power. While he don't really seem like he would, great fielder, can hit the ball well. The average was down a bit this year, but, a mid-250s hitter consistently and having that power, that's something that is kind of hard to come by in today's MLB. So there seems to be a market for him. And I mean, once again, you're looking at the package that's giving up. That may not necessarily be in the Dodgers' favor, without any changes, but it is something that I think a baseline of would be pretty interesting to kind of work with. And as we look at the prospects here for this team, once again, Jackson Ferris down there at 6 at the AA level, projected to make his debut next season. Zaire Hope, Second on this list for the Dodgers prospects and projected to make his debut in 2027. Now, as we know, this could be really whenever. This could be this year for Zaire Hope. Whatever happens, happens. However, you're looking at the, let's say top 4 if you take out Alex Freeland, as he is in the MLB right now. Mike Sirota, Eduardo Quintero, Zaire Hope, and Josue DePaula, all outfielders. There's only 3 outfielder positions in the, you can play at once. So, will the Dodgers be willing to move one? And it certainly seems like that is the case if they can get somebody that they think will fill that hole. And I mean, from those 4, Zaire Hope has really been in just about every single rumor that we have seen or any proposed trade, with the other 3 really seemingly having a fit on this team for the future. And when it comes to Jackson Ferris, like I said with Brandon Gomes, he came out and said this: Ferris has been far better than his surface level numbers, and scouting reports back that assessment. His fastball sits at 92 to 95, touches at 97, featuring elite extension and carry. His slider is a tick-plus offering that he can throw for strikes with consistency. His biggest challenge remains mechanical inconsistencies. His contorted multi-part delivery creates deception, but occasionally costs him command. And when you're looking at that as a description, it's very similar to what we saw with Blake Snell years ago when he was on his way to the big leagues. Having a player that you're being compared to, similar mechanics, both left-handed pitchers, having someone like him being able to kind of be taken under the wing of a guy like Blake Snell, who kind of dealt with the same struggles, that would incredibly add to his development. And having that with what they think, as well as kind of having him as the top pitching prospect in the system right now, I really don't think that Jackson Ferris is someone the Dodgers would want to give up. So, given that with, these outcomes of a trade, I think that the Dodgers like the, structure. I think that is something that would make sense. However, I think that there would need to be changes here, to make this happen for sure, especially with Jackson Ferris and Zaire Hope being in this report. And going and looking at the second base, I mean, it is a position of need. Tommy Edman, Hai-Sung Kim, Miguel Rojas. Rojas, going to be mixing around on the infield. But once again, not somebody that I think can play the full season there. Tommy Edman at this point, seemingly like he could be in the outfield, although at second base, he is someone, and has played there last year. You're going to get consistency there as well. So, given all of this and how things are kind of really playing out in all of this, and especially looking at what Jazz can do with the, an 813 OPS last year, 332 on base, 242 average, 31 home runs really being the big thing there. And, the year before, going with 24 home runs, 40 stolen bases, 31 this year. He's a guy that provides a lot of help, and especially for the Dodgers, even though he's not necessarily favorited across the MLB by many players, he's a guy that, he's honest. He's very, very honest in his interviews, all of that. He got a great attitude. He likes to play baseball, and, that's what he's there for. He's there to have fun. He's there to play the game. He's there to win. So, at the end of the day, I think that Jazz Chisholm Jr. is a very interesting option. Now, once again, I think that proposed trade would need to be changed up a bit. And seeing how things go about that, I'd be very interested to see where this goes, especially knowing that second base is one big hole as well as an outfielder, and Jazz fits both of those here. I mean, we have a lot of time until we see the next season start, and whatever happens, we know the Dodgers are going to be involved. But ladies and gentlemen, I asked you this question here before we sign this one out. Do you want the Dodgers to trade for Jazz Chisholm? Give me a Y for yes and N for no. Now, it necessarily doesn't need to be that trade that I mentioned, and if not, let me know what you would be willing to kind of give up if you were Andrew Freeman and Brandon Gomes here in this instance. But like I said, that is all I have. I appreciate all of you guys for watching this video. Once again, happy holidays. Hope you enjoy your break, and we're going to be coming back. Probably not a video tomorrow, but we're going to be having everything for you coming after the break. Everything you will not want to miss it. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.